welcome to Las Vegas, everyone. I appreciate the members of the media for making the trip out here for this Cup tournament. I thought we had two great games on Saturday, and I'm looking forward to an exciting final tonight. I'll just say quickly, so far this season, the competition's been fantastic. We've seen record ratings, in fact, the highest viewership in the last 15 years so far this season. And in terms of the Cup interest in the month of November, and that was something very important to us, we've now had our 3 highest attended months of November in the history of the league. And I think a lot of that is due to the increased interest in these Cup games. So, I'm very pleased with where we are. And with that, Tim, I'm happy to take any questions.
Great, we're going to start with Tim Reynolds here in the first row.
Tim Reynolds, AP. Adam, good to see you.
You too.
Can you shed any light on the status of the investigation into the arrests of Chauncey and Terry Rozier, where that stands, if the league even has an expected timetable, and as kind of a part within that, Rozier remains on the books in Miami, 17% of the cap. There's a draft pick that's going to come in 27 or 28. Has the league considered any relief to the Heat of what they can do with that situation?
Yeah, so first of all, on the timeline, it's essentially out of our hands. As you know, these are federal indictments in the case of Terry Rozier in Brooklyn, New York, the Eastern District of New York. We had investigated him at some point earlier. We had not found sufficient evidence to discipline him under the rules of the league, and then at some point that investigation was taken over, by federal authorities. So as I said, it's in their hands, and also now obviously he's been indicted, and then trial schedule, etc. So there are tangential issues that we're looking into in that indictment, which is public record. There were also references to other players, other incidents and so as has been reported, much of that information was new to us. And so, in essence, on a parallel path with the federal authorities, we are using whatever investigative powers we have to look into those incidents as well, but we don't have ultimately the leverage, the authority that federal investigators have. So, we take a back seat to their work. So, timeline uncertain. In terms of Miami, this is an unprecedented situation. And I think I'm incredibly sympathetic to the Heat and to their fans. But I think, we're going to try to work this out with them. But there's no obvious solution here. I would just say that, there's no doubt at the moment they have a player that can't perform services for them. And, and as to the draft pick they conveyed, obviously he hasn't been convicted of anything yet either. But this is an unfortunate circumstance. But, sometimes there's these unique events, and maybe sometimes, they require unique solutions. So we'll be looking at this with the Heat and the other teams in the league and see if there's any satisfactory relief. But at the moment, there is none.
We'll go third.
Woo! Oh, they cooking now. They are cooking now. Adam Silver been looking sick since 1992. Ain't nothing changed on that forefront. He looking like Adam Silver. In case you want to know what he looked like Adam Silver. So right now, he's in the grease answering these questions, and they still on the books for the Miami Heat and everybody else. They're like, wait a minute, these guys are still on the books. But you claim they're not getting paid. But they taking a cap hit, and teams can't move. Now, the NBA, once again, he doubled down and said, we investigated and found out that Rozier didn't do anything. And I told y'all Terry Rozier don't even gamble. I went and found that out. He don't gamble. So if he's not a gambler, then how is this even standing right now? So they came right out the gate saying we finna throw everything in the book. Oh, they ain't playing around. Oh, we getting back to it. Don't worry about that. I just have the options where I could just, pause the Silver Man whenever I want. There we go. Just want to get it right for you. Oh no. See, what Adam Silver is now addressing is the state of the game and where it's at. Let's show y'all what I'm talking about. This thing might be a little off.
Third row on the right, third in, Denny.
Vince, hey, Vince Goodwill, ESPN. Adam, I know the numbers may say something a little bit different. I know you guys may quibble with it, but the increase or the notable soft tissue injuries that seem to occur at a more frequent rate, at what point is that a concern of yours as far as the pace of play? Does it go as far back as the age of specialization with the grassroots level of basketball? How far deep do you look into this, or do you think this is something that's an anomaly and that the media is making a little too much of?
Vinny, you began your question by saying the numbers tell one story, but maybe there's some other narrative.
It
out
feels
there.
heavy. It feels
I understand, but all I can deal with is the data itself. And the data we have so far this season is we have the lowest number of injuries in the last 3 years. I'll stop there and say, regardless where the level of injuries stand versus prior years, of course, the soft tissue injuries concern us. I mean, all injuries concern us for that matter. And the most frustrating issue right now, and the one that we have seemingly the least control over, is keeping star players on the floor. I think we have made progress. We've made adjustments in scheduling. We've made adjustments in the sharing of information among teams. We've made adjustments in the care of players, but there are no silver bullets here. I mean, I think we have to be true to the data. And so when people say, because of the cup, the season was denser leading up to now, it wasn't. Full stop. And the level of density prior up till this point in the season is roughly what it's been for the last decade. So it's just factually not true that as a result of cup scheduling, the first part of the season created a denser schedule. We are seeing an increase in pace of play. You can measure that in different ways, but measured by speed in which players are bringing the ball to half court. Yes, that's up. That may be causing some additional injuries, but what do you do about that? That's something we're looking at. Also part of your question, we're very focused with our team doctors on the data we're seeing and the evidence in terms of the wear and tear on players' bodies when they get to the league. I think, as you said, we're seeing young players now specialize at 10 years old and up, as opposed to a generation before them that, I'm looking at James Jones, who, the top athletes played a different sport in every season, and they developed their musculature in a different way. And we think that's preventative when you have a balanced system. And now it's not even just that young athletes aren't switching from season to season. They're literally playing year round. I mean, even modern NBA players, they finish the season, they take a day off, and they're right back in the gym. And so it may be that over time, that with better data, this may be another area where AI that can ingest enormous amounts of data and video and look at patterns might be able to solve some of these problems. But so the answer is it's frustrating. It's frustrating for our teams. It's frustrating for our fans. But I do think we have to be true to what the evidence is, as opposed to saying there's a narrative out there that injuries are up, or injuries are up because of scheduling. They're not. But we continue to slice and dice the data in every way we can, and plus we look at qualitative information. People who've been around this game for a long time. What are they seeing? Are players training differently? Are there better techniques out there to keep players healthier? By the way, this is not a problem unique to the NBA. I mean, it's tremendously frustrating, in all sports to see star players in particular go down, but of course any player. And so, we're very focused on it. There's no amount of money we're not willing to invest in to make those investments to see if there's better resources out there. And I would say also, Andre Iguodala and the Players Association have been tremendously cooperative as well. I mean, we all have a common interest in keeping players on the floor.
Second row right in front of you, Rachel.
Hey, I'm Rachel Nichols from Fox Sports. Where were you? How did you hear about Chris Paul leaving the Clippers? What was your reaction? And have you spoken to Chris, and have you spoken to Steve Ballmer?
I've talked to Chris. I've talked to Steve Ballmer, but frankly, not about this. Where was I? I probably was in bed and saw an alert on my phone. I think I woke, bad habit of checking my phone in the middle of the night, so I think that's when I learned of it. And I will say I was dismayed just for everyone involved. I mean, Rachel, as you know, I'm particularly close to Chris because he was president of the Players Association many years. We probably would not have managed to play through the pandemic in the so-called bubble in Orlando, but for Chris working hand in hand with Michelle Roberts and people at the league in a constructive way. So I've admired his leadership over the years. I think he's a dozen All-Star appearances. I think it's his 21st year in the league, so I would love to see him finish off the season on another team, and he's already announced this is his last season, so I'd love to see him finish strong.
With a guy who has as many credentials as he has and who has had such an impact on the league beyond the court, would you like to have seen the situation handled differently? This is a future Hall of Famer.
That's not for me to say, because I said I did not talk to Steve Ballmer about it. I mean, the first I saw it, it was done. And so it didn't seem my role to cross-examine the participants here. It's an unfortunate situation that it ended the way it did. And as I said, so I'm focused, and I hope Chris is now, on the future. Many games left to be played this season, opportunity now for him to join another team, and I hope there's mutual interest.
Standing on your right, Tim.
Well, Adam, asked you in September about the timelines for expansion in Europe. You said they were on parallel tracks at the time. We're obviously in a city where it's been talked about as a potential expansion home in the future. I was curious, do you think that the current 28 markets within the league, are they all strong enough from a financial standpoint to justify expansion?
I want to make sure I understand your question. You're asking about the current market.
Yeah.
But what's the relation to expansion?
Well, in terms of, do you think they're all strong enough in terms of supporting their own teams to justify expansion as opposed to potential relocation of teams?
It's two separate issues, because the league doesn't have the right to relocate a team. Are some markets stronger than others? Of course. Do we have a revenue sharing system in our league? Yes. Do some teams receive significant revenue from other teams to generate more money? Those things are all true, but relocating a team requires that team's desire to be relocated. Specifically, the governor, it's a process where you apply to relocate. I'd also say just because some markets don't generate the same revenue as others, it doesn't mean they are markets that are not worthy of NBA franchises. If you look in our Constitution, the factors that the owners are required to look at in making the determination whether to relocate a team go to support that team is historically had in that community, the operation of that team, the competitive opportunity in that market. And we live in a big country. So I think if we were to relocate teams, I don't think the right way to do it would be to rank the teams 1 to 30 in terms of market size or economic opportunity in those markets, and then just take the 2 teams at the bottom and say, let's take them to markets where they could be more prosperous. So at least, again, I look at the potential to relocate teams as sort of independent as to whether it makes sense to expand to markets we're not currently in.
And is there any update on either Europe or expansion from September?
On Europe, yes, there's an update. I mean, Mark Tatum, who's sitting in the front row here, is the Deputy Commissioner and Chief Operating Officer. He's been taking the lead on this European project. We've announced it, but we've engaged J.P. Morgan along with investment firm Rain. They have been meeting with interested parties in Europe. A combination of existing clubs, organizations that own clubs and other leagues, city officials, many of whom I've met with as well, governmental, leaders of states in terms of their interest. And I'd say we've heard a lot of very positive interest in our moving forward. I think we at the league office are still working on the economic model, want to sure it makes sense. I think, as I've said before, many of the cities we'd like to be in don't have a sufficient arena infrastructure, so that's something that we would need to work on in terms of private investment, maybe work with those municipalities as well. So, we have been moving along on a very, constructive path. I'd say in terms of domestic expansion, that is something we're continuing to look at. Not a secret, we're looking at, this market in Las Vegas. We are looking at Seattle. We've looked at other markets as well. I'd say I want to be sensitive there about this notion that we're somehow teasing these markets, because I know we've been talking about it for a while. As I've said before, domestic expansion as opposed to doing a new league in Europe is selling equity in this current league. If you own 1/30 of this league, now you own 1/32 if you have 2 teams. So it's a much more difficult economic analysis. In many ways, it requires predicting the future. At the same time, I think Seattle and Las Vegas are 2 incredible cities. Obviously, we had a team in Seattle that had great success. We have a WNBA team here in Las Vegas, and the Aces. We've been playing the Summer League here for 20 years, playing our Cup games here, so we're very familiar with this market. I don't have any doubt that Las Vegas, despite all the other major league teams that are here now, the other entertainment properties, that this city could support an NBA team. I think now we're in the process of, working with our teams and gauging the level of interest and having a better understanding of what the economics would be on the ground for those particular teams and what a pro forma would look like for them. And then, sometime in 2026, we will make a determination.
4th row on your left at the end, Mark.
Yes, Adam.
Hey, Mark.
Kevin Durant is a minority owner in PSG, and PSG is one of the teams I think is expected to have a Europe team. Does that mean he and potentially other players could have ownership in European NBA Europe teams? And in addition,
Told y'all.
what is the latest with
And y'all think Cino be capping?
teams being named in the NBA Africa League, and could players have ownership in that as well?
So I'll start with Europe. I mean, obviously there's a lot built into your question, assumption that PSG would have a team, that, and then if PSG were to have a team, that then Kevin Durant, who's an investor in PSG, could remain. Those are all issues we have to work through. I would say, as you know, you just begin with the framework.
What did I
in
tell
the
you?
US
They
because
finna-
we have
I
a
told
salary
you,
cap system.
they're gonna
We don't
buy
allow players. I mean, by
Euro League,
the Players
and they're gonna
Association
partner with them
also
and make a
investors
European
in
league.
the
That's all he
clubs
cares
and
about
the-
is
as
the
a
Euro
concept.
money. They
Incidentally,
don't care about the
China
regular
has done
NBA
that.
no more.
They're not only NBA owners, and we have some players who've done that. So I think that, once we make a decision on Europe, and then we're looking at who the right owners are, if there was a situation where a player had an investment in that ownership group, we would have to figure out a framework for those issues and work with the Players Association on that as well. In terms of Africa, maybe an opportunity over time for players to invest there. So in Africa, and I didn't really talk as much about this before, so there we've been operating a club tournament league of existing teams, sort of what FIBA would refer to as an open league. And now we're looking at more of a hybrid, a closed model, maybe some, open slots as well, where whether it's an existing club that comes into NBA Africa or a newly formed club where more along the US model, investors would buy franchises and then essentially have a permanent right to operate them. I'm very encouraged by what we've seen so far. We're 5 years into the BAL, Basketball Africa League. It's amazing what we're seeing in terms of participation in the sport. I've said this before, roughly 10% of our league now is comprised of players who were born in Africa, or one of their parents was born in Africa. Obviously, Victor Wembanyama is a great example of that second category. Enormous talent coming into the league, I think because of the spread of digital technology. People throughout the continent of Africa, again, we're talking about 55 countries, but are increasingly aware of our NBA players, our WNBA players as well. So we see a real opportunity there, which is why we're taking this next step on selling franchises. It's not nearly as well developed as the opportunity in Europe. I think we're further down the totem pole in Africa. For example, soccer's clearly ahead of us, rugby's clearly ahead of us, there may be some other sports as well. In Europe, we're firmly the number 2 sport. Something like 300 million people are playing the sport in Europe. So we're in a different place from an infrastructure standpoint as well. But there are different opportunities, but we're working equally as hard on Africa as we are in Europe.
Right here in front of me, Simone.
Simone Sandri, Gazzetta dello Sport. Two quick one on NBA Europe. Beside the established basketball clubs that will join, when it comes to the new clubs in Paris, London, Manchester, Munich, Milan and Rome, it seems pretty established that you want to work and you want to partner with soccer clubs. Can you confirm that? And second, Mark Terum, a couple of weeks ago, mentioned when it comes to the possible franchises in Milan and Rome, mentioned that you would be willing to work, you'd be favored to work with the AC Milan, with Red Bulls and Red Bird, and the AS Roma with the Franklin Group. Is it still the case? Are they still the favorite for those two potential franchises?
I wouldn't say there are any favorites. I think we're as I mentioned before, with what we're doing now with JP Morgan and Rain, is talking to everyone, and that includes soccer clubs, some who have basketball teams, some who don't have basketball teams, existing basketball organizations who potentially would be interested in joining our league. We're talking to other organizations or individuals who don't own any team who would be interested if we expand into Europe at looking at opportunities. So I would say we're casting a very, very wide net right now, and essentially saying to anyone who's interested, come see our bankers, explain to us why you're interested, how you view the opportunity, what resources you would put behind opening a team, and then we're taking all that information back. And then I think sometime, in late January or in January, we'll be in a position to have more serious conversations with those interested parties.
Second row on your left, 3 in, Tanya.
Hey, Tanya.
Hello, Tanya Ganguly, New York Times. When the indictments were announced, there was so much conversation about the integrity of the game and like what it could do if this became a more pervasive problem. But it didn't seem like fans cared that much. In fact, like you guys had a great week viewership-wise that week, and NBA fans love the drama. They love joking about the league being rigged by you specifically. So I have like a few parts to this question. One is, does it bother you when people make those jokes like, oh, it's game 6, Adam's gonna want a game 7, he's gonna pull the lever, those kinds of things. And then 2, if the fans don't seem to care about questions about the integrity of the game, does the league, like why would the league?
I'd say number one, I think the fans care a lot. It's hard to make judgments either anecdotally over what some fans are saying. Or
She
what's
won't be
on social
back.
media. Fans definitely care, and I mean it when I say
I
it.
guarantee you,
This
this her
game,
last day.
Isn't viewed as being honest and the competition being on the level and at the highest integrity, over time we will lose our fan base. I have no doubt about that. And so I take it incredibly seriously. I try not to take the comments personally, but to the extent someone thinks that the league has a finger on the scale, the league cares which team wins, the league wants more games, in a series rather than less games, or a particular outcome, I think that's incredibly corrosive to the game. And so, in response to those indictments, we've been redoubling our efforts at the league office, working with our teams, looking at every aspect of our rules around sports betting. Are there better ways to educate the participants? Are there changes we should make in how injuries are reported? Dealing with the so-called inside information issue, to ensure there's a level playing field to the extent people are betting on the sport, which we know is now legal and people are going to continue to do so. Are there improvements in terms of monitoring? For example, in the case of Terry Rozier, it's now known publicly, we knew, and our betting partners knew, there was aberrational activity on that game before it took place. And in fact, they took bets off the books because something odd was happening. So the system worked from that standpoint. But in a world of AI, can you scrape the internet for sort of any chatter whatsoever around a game? Can you incorporate not just the legal betting lines, which now need to be monitored state by state, because you have essentially 40 different jurisdictions in the US which have legalized sports betting, but you have the prediction markets now, which are a form of legalized sports betting now. You have the illegal markets in the United States, which are likely still significantly more than 50% of sports betting right now. And then you have, and especially for a sport like the NBA, you have legal markets all over the world that are betting on the NBA, and you have illegal markets all over the world. And then the question is, can you incorporate all that data and have us do even a better job with sophisticated computers spotting anything that seems aberrant? And so those are some of the things we're working on right now. But believe me, whatever fans joking or joking online or whatever else, I have to believe at the end of the day, if they didn't think what they were watching was on the level, they would lose interest. And so I lose a lot of sleep over that issue. And we're in the process, as I said, right now, and working with our teams, thinking about anything else we can be doing if there's any aspect of our system that needs to be shored up. And that includes working with the regulators on some certain kinds of problematic betting. For example, we know unders and prop bets are where we are most vulnerable. And as I think we don't control the bets that are placed on our own sport right now. We're left to lobby regulators or try to convince the legal sports betting companies that that's bad for them as well. Because I also think in terms of their business, if their consumers don't think that there's integrity in the product, why would they be willing to place bets? So put all that together, we're working on it. But even since the beginning of the season, sports betting is increasing, not decreasing. And as I said, add the prediction markets now into the mix because with those platforms now operating legally in the United States, even in states like Texas and California that haven't chosen to legalize sports betting, they now have legalized sports betting in their states through those markets. So the volume is continuing to increase. So it just means that we're going to have to do whatever necessary to protect our integrity.
We're going to take one more from Monica in the fourth row in the back.
Hi, Adam.
Mike.
Just wanted to check in on the WNBA side of things. Earlier this month, the CBA window was extended yet again. And frankly, I have been asked the question, do you want to see Adam and Mark get involved? Just how are you tracking that? Is there a scenario where you guys would come to the table on that one?
I'll speak for Mark as well. I mean, we're available to do whatever is necessary to help get a deal done. I'm encouraged by the fact they extended the deadline once again into January. Presumably, the sides wouldn't have been willing to do that unless they thought there was a constructive path to getting a deal done. I'm tracking things very closely. You know, we're integrated at the league office. You know, I talk to the people who are at the negotiating table on a daily basis. As I've said before, you know, we, the NBA WNBA collective, acknowledge that our players deserve to be paid significantly more than they have so far based on the increased success of the league. And it's just a question now of finding a meeting of the minds, you know, in terms of what is a fair deal. It's going to require compromise on both sides. I remain optimistic we'll get something done, but you know, whether that means I'm physically sitting at the table for the negotiation, you know, and again, I speak for Mark as well, we've been involved with this league, you know, for 3 decades in essence. You know, I care enormously about it and have great relationships with many of the players and want it to be successful, and I want the players to feel fairly treated as well. And I realize there's been a disconnect, especially over the last few months in these negotiations, but sometimes that's the nature of collective bargaining. And you know, we recognize we got to work through those issues, but you know, it remains a very high priority for me, even if I'm not at the table, to get an agreement done and get one done as quickly as possible.
All right, great. Thanks, Adam. We'll have transcripts available on Media Central shortly. Appreciate y'all being here. Enjoy the game.
They cut all questions after that. So look, Adam Silver immediately went over and started bringing that up. So you heard this live. Hey, so right now the league blocking this live stream too. So if you got it notified, congratulations. But as you can see, this bastard did a spin move. He did a doggone 360 spin move. She wasn't even talking about betting. She was talking about people saying the game being rigged. Like y'all know the outcomes of the goddamn games and y'all setting these damn games up. Does this bother you? Fans are losing interest. And fans are not losing interest. That's corrosive to our game. He got off that stage and he went to talk to that dude immediately. That's the last time her ass would be up there to talk. And I'm glad she got the question off. Because I already know this is going to be my last time up there. So I already knew what they're going to do to me. So I'd have been up out of there. No sweat off my brow. He drugged this question all the way out so he can get to the end and be like, that's it.
Have great relationships with many of the players, and a few months in these negotiations.
It took him 20 minutes to answer one question so he can get up out of here.
I'm not at the table to get an agreement done and get one done as quick.
Now watch, he going right over there. Look, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know why she asked me that shit. I don't want her here no more. Look, he going right over there. He's mad as hell. God damn it, what the hell is she doing asking me who the hell is that and how did she get through the door? Yeah, Silver Slipper. Yeah. Oh, my question would have been more direct. It'd been like, well, it seems like the league caters to the Los Angeles Lakers and the Knicks every year now. Seems to be an agenda in place. This a massive amount of free throw differentials when it comes to how LeBron James is refereed and the Los Angeles Lakers, Luka Doncic, compared to everyone else in the league. What are you doing, Adam Silver, to try to neutralize this? Are you working with your team, your organizations to try to change this narrative? Because online, people are becoming more and more outraged with having decisions decided by referees instead of the players. What did you say, Adam? They'd escorted my ass right out of there. He'd have done a spin move. I think that's corrosive. I haven't heard anything like that. The free throws, we're working with our team constantly. We're also constantly putting our heads together, trying to find out the best way. Yeah, spin cycle, baby. But finally, they're talking about NBA Europe. And what I tell you, boys, what they were gonna do when it came to NBA Europe. I told you what they were gonna do, didn't I? They was like, wait, why you ain't putting all this push behind the African team? You got NBA Africa. Oh, we doing that too. Just wait. Don't stress. It's all coming. Don't worry about it. So now, they decided we finna change the game. Yep. Changing the game. I had to get some extra tissue because Adam Silver's full of shit. And it's spewing out. What he's saying is the attendance is great. The attendance is great because you guys have lowered the price on some of the games and start letting these people get tickets at the lower rates, and people are coming into the games later and later. They're going to like Game Time and all these other apps where they can get tickets to the game later. So the longer this continues to move forward, the more all of this stuff is going to basically implode on itself. Yeah. I did tell you this a year ago because, see, I know when things are in the works. And in the NBA, just like any other corporation, it takes time to get there. If people think when you report on something, it's supposed to happen like in 10 minutes after you say it. No, it takes time. So, of course, everybody has a short attention span due to all the information you're consuming at one time, thanks to social media and the internet, which is a great distractional ploy for politicians, sports. They just keep filling you with useless information, keeping you distracted. I know a buddy who sat down on that couch in my house and went on YouTube and was just clicking videos, and he wouldn't even finish the video. He would watch like 2-3 minutes, flip, go to another one, 2-3 minutes, flip, go to another one, 2-3 minutes, flip, go to another one. Next thing you know, I'm doing that shit. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm doing what you just did. Because, see, the narratives don't fit the actual scale of what's going on. See, they talk about tit for tat. Okay, that first has to be the tit before you do the tat. Okay, there was no tit. You just went straight to tat and tried to say, oh no, we going tit for tat. No, it ain't. You was doing all that. The narratives have never, fared well for the person that fought the system when it came to the league. They normally had to conform to whatever was forming and just do, The Detroit Pistons are a team that they didn't even develop. The NBA didn't promote them. The NBA didn't say, wow, we like Cade Cunningham. No, not at all. Their agenda was OKC Thunder. And we saw that last year when they kept giving Shea every call in the book. and they kept free throwing them to the top. And we started seeing that, yes, they have a good team. They have a good nucleus, but the core was Shea, and we got to make Shea a star. We have to manufacture him into a star. So we got Shea being manufactured. You got Jalen Brunson being manufactured. You have all these manufactured stars. Because you think you need this to sell your game. All you're doing is selling lies like you did with LeBron James. And people who love the game of basketball, this is why they don't want to watch it, because it's not authentic anymore. That's why so many people left after Mike left. They were just like, this ain't good. And after Kobe left, that's when they really was gone. When Kobe was there and Tim Duncan and everybody, that still had the core of the league. But you saw them start tapering off because we're favoring nonsense. Once you start favoring Shaquille O'Neal just dunking the ball and saying, oh, we can't stop him. Yes, you could. Because he was stopped in 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. You could stop him. He couldn't get out of the damn first round of the playoffs. Then he becomes unstoppable in year 2000? It's bullshit. Oh, they got Phil Jackson and Phil has coached them up. What? No. Y'all manufacture too much. Y'all get in there and interfere with the game and manufacture. The Lakers supposed to be the dynasty of the 2000s. That was their plan. That was the rollout. Kobe and Shaq is the new Michael and Scotty. We're going to roll that over. We're going to put Phil Jackson there, and we're going to repackage the Bulls on the Lakers. That's all it was. Oh, LB, get out of here. Cade is way better than that Jalen Brunson. Hands down. Hands down. Who you think having a better season, Cade or Jalen Brunson? Exactly. Case closed. Well, yeah. And in New York, of course they watching tonight because it's the only thing they've ever been in since they can't win nothing. They gonna be celebrating all, running down the street, popping champagne over the NBA Cup. It's almost like I hope they win it just to see them because they want to celebrate it so bad, but they know we gonna roast their ass for celebrating it. I almost want them to win it. But you saw what happened, right? So you saw Adam Silver just run down the whole play for NBA Europe. As I told you, they're going to end up teaming and merging up with EuroLeague because they already got established leagues. And they're going to get that off the ground because that's their concern. Because they got too many European players coming into the NBA and they want all the European money they can get. Because that's where the money is. I told you, they do not care about your American ass no more. All y'all think y'all gonna come in the league and get a check, y'all gonna be out. Y'all ain't gonna be able to walk through the door no more. All y'all who screwed this game up, talking about I don't want to play today, coach tripping, I want to trade, it's too cold here, I want to go there, it's hot. And they paying you millions of dollars, they say, all right, cool, no problem. We'll pay you. It never happened again. Now we're going to get you out the league. Now it's going to be these guys' turn. We're going to let the Europeans come in here. And Vrvagovic. They go like, Vrvagovic, we haven't seen Vrvagovic, another player like this since Michael Jordan. Yes, Vrvagovic is unstoppable. I know he walked with his knees together. And he's kind of awkward, but that hook shot, Vrvagovic has been... Vrvagovic is averaging 33, 12, and 11. Who could stop Vrvagovic? Look at him, his vision. Well, you know he doesn't have the flexibility of a Jordan. But Vrvagovic, Vavarovich is just so skilled and talented. Look at Vavarovich's footwork. Vavarovich gonna have like 6 million points. Well, he just addressed that today. You probably just got here. You didn't see Adam Silver's live stream. He went live and addressing all the questions, and this lady asked him about. He addressed the gambling, all of it. And one lady snuck through and said, "What you think about people thinking this league is set up and rigged?" She used the word rigged. I was like, oh my gosh, she had zero media training. I don't know how she got in there with a credential, but it'll be her last time ever addressing Adam Silver. I guarantee you that. That was not supposed to happen. Hey, I salute you though, because you did a great job. You did justice. Yeah, she said that. And then he went into start turning it into gambling, and he talked for about 15, 20 minutes because he didn't want to answer another question after that. Because he didn't want everybody else to feel like, oh, she could ask that? Oh, well, wait till my next question. There ain't no we can ask that up in here. Adam Silver went up there and got off that stage and was talking to the dude like, the fuck, who let this broad up in here, man? Got me on stage looking stupid. Anybody saying the game is rigged and stuff, that's corrosion to our league. Oh, man. Oh, he was on spin cycle all the way. NBA Africa. He was, oh, yeah, we do care about NBA Africa. We're going to get to that. And then the guy brought up a good point. Like, you got Terry Rozier on the books still for the Miami Heat. Like, what's going on with that? Like, you know, it's messing up. This a draft pick caught up into this. Like, are we going to deal with this before the trade deadline? Like, what's going on? Because, you know, it's hurting the Miami Heat. So he was making a very good point about this Terry Rozier situation because he's still on their books. And they did an investigation and saw that Terry didn't do anything wrong. Then he said that once they saw a lot of irregular betting, that they took the bets off the board because they said, hey, this is just a lot of traffic. We're just going to pull this off the board. And he said when they did that, you know, the system worked. They caught it and they said this is irregular, people betting too much, cut the bets. And they cut the bets off. So to say that they found something on Terry Rozier, it would be crazy. She worked for Sino Publications. Yeah, I was using my mind like, I ain't rapping a damn thing this year. I done bought all these damn gifts and nothing for myself. Now, this whole thing has gotten out of control. I feel we as people should not be caught in a situation where we can't make decisions. We're stuck. You know, like we're up against a wall here and we can't, there's no way out. I don't think that's the right way to feel. I don't to feel like you're trapped and you can't move. I just think that's egregious. No, I mean, have they been some good games? Yeah, far and few, because I have to go back and watch games. The Knicks have had some games that they played very well. And to me, those games did not exist with Jalen Brunson. He played 1 or 2 games where I thought like, whoa, if Jalen Brunson play like this, they'll be pretty good. But he resorted back to his chucking up 30 shots, flopping, one-on-one, stick dribbling with one arm crap, you know, and you're not going to win a championship like that. You just can't. They're not built to win a championship. That stuff will win you a game. It ain't gonna win you a championship. Yeah, they got fluky and got to the Eastern Conference Finals. But now, when we go live, when they play Joel Embiid, as you see, Christian didn't show up last night after the Pistons put a whooping on his boys. He want to act like he couldn't find the link. Oh, the Knicks are too soft. This is a soft team. Everything about the Knicks is soft. They're not made for anybody physical. Everyone believes that they could beat OKC. They're not physical enough for OKC. OKC would run them off the court. Brunson can't defend, so he's a liability. You're going to run him through picks all night. The Knicks give up still the most open three-point shots I've ever seen in history. That's not going to beat OKC. You have no one for Hartenstein. And if you say Mitchell Robinson, then we're revisiting an old statement. That was the death of the Knicks. When y'all lost Hartenstein, that was the death of y'all team. He was the glue. I knew it. Roe didn't know it. Roe keep calling out LB. I've never seen another Knick fan call out another Knick fan like this, but Roe called him out last night. He's like, man, don't listen to LB. LB's just delusional. I was like, man, what's up with all this Knick hate? Nick on Nick hate. He's a Mitchell Robinson fanboy. But see, they all love Mitchell Robinson until they saw this season and saw what I pointed out. When I pointed out to Roe, I said, Roe, look, he's going down every year. I'm like, this is not like a video game. When you get injured, it ain't like you feel better. You run out there and play again. This stuff takes wear and tear. He's a big dude. It's not like he's not finna get hurt again. He out there looking like Greg Oden. And they taking full advantage of Mitch. They putting him out, pulling him to the top of the key, and he's getting a small forward on him, and who's finna break his ankles. Then somebody else got to come over and try to help because the Knicks are just too small. And mostly that pressure is on Cat. And if you get Cat mentally out of the game, or Bridges keep cussing him out, then you've already got the team. They beat. Yeah, he did go back to last year. That he went back to, man, last night he went back to, gosh, man, how far did he go back last night during that Piston live stream? He went back to 1992. I mean, it was just random. He just came out of nowhere and was like, when the last time, like how many times, when the last time y'all beat the Knicks in the playoff series? It's like, dude, we don't play y'all. I was like, first of all, y'all ain't been in the playoffs as many times as we have. Why are you bringing this up? That's like saying, wait, how many times y'all beat the Charlotte Hornets in the playoffs? You ain't played Charlotte. It's like, they ain't there. Man, it was crazy, man. Ro had everybody in there going, man. Oh, don't worry. We are going live December the 19th for the Knicks and 76ers game. No doubt about that. For the whole game, we are going live. Oh, we ain't missing that. Oh, you can count on that. He said, I watched the playback earlier today, and that live stream, everybody is ridiculous on both sides. No, it isn't. No, it wasn't. It was just right. Will I be watching the NBA Cup game, the Knicks and Spurs? Absolutely not. I don't deal with the NBA Cup crap. That's Adam Silver's garbage. That's why he was out here trying to explain himself for 30 minutes, talking about how great it is. Pouring sugar on shit. Huh, everyone, the attendance is up. And the viewership, this is the highest everything's been in 15 years. Then why are we having conversations about people not giving a goddamn about the game? Why is that on the table? Since everything is doing so well. Since everything is going hunky-dory, buddy. Why is that the case? Because it's airbrush bullshit. Just some more Adam Silver spin cycle. So when you get to the Adam Silver spin, this is what it is. That was my fault putting that stuff out there. Hopefully I get no more packages at the house, but I think I'm expecting a few. I should have did what I did last year and just send stuff off. Of course, he acted like he didn't care about the cup. Soon as that cup kicked off, Outlaw was the first one out the door. he know he ain't finna miss no cup game. He got to tell you, they try to front all they want. They gonna throw a celebration in New York if they win this damn cup. I mean, he should put up a 50-piece, but they should be worried about point guard play like Castle and everybody else. But this is not going to be a real game. This is going to be like a NBA 2K on novice. It's on rookie level. All they want is more scoring. You're going to be having Josh Hart out here with 45 points. And I'm like, this is why I don't even bet the cup games. That's why I was like, look, it's a cup game, I'm out. Because none of that stuff is going to go the way it's supposed to go. It's going to be the craziest game you've ever seen. Like, this dude cannot get no 35 and 15. And the other guy next to him got 45 and 15. It's just, what kind of garbage is this? Well, yeah, because you bet in fantasy land. So that's why you hitting on the cup games. This is probably designed right for you. Cause I'll be like, man, y'all be delusional with these bets. And they be all over the place. You seeing one guy hit 5 threes who only averaged 1 through the season. I'm like, how the hell he hitting 5 threes? Who the hell is he? They're gonna be, man, look at this, the second year journeyman. Ronald Hubbard. Ronald Hubbard has hit 7 threes now. What a game. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. I was like, man, Adam Silver can keep this bull. You see how hard they tried to cheat the Pistons out of the game against the Celtics to get us out the cup? That's how hard it is to beat the Pistons now. It had to come down to a last shot when it wasn't even supposed to. That's how hard, because we so deep. And we play aggressive, and we play defense, and we at the rim. It's kind of hard. Because you still got to call a game. So it's hard to beat that team. Because you say, okay, well, we just put Duren in foul trouble. That's going to hurt the team. So you think. Then here come Green. Here come Reed. Everybody's stepping up. And you're like, who are these people? How's this guy doing this? This dude out here dropping threes and hitting shots. Who is this Reed? It's like, I don't know. We put Duren in foul trouble, like you said, and they kept rolling. We'll put Cade and Duren in there. Okay, Cade is down and Duren's down. Now everybody else is cooking. That's how you win and beat the fix. You got to have guys that know and they're ready to answer the bell whenever the NBA come with that bullshit. No matter what, we going to find a way. That's how you beat the fix. They going to just have to screw the entire team and just say, F it, I don't care. Nobody gets nothing. Foul everybody out. And expose themselves. Expose themselves completely. NFL was good. It's just that if you can stay away from Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday night, you'll be all right. Those are the games that's gonna screw you. Monday night football, Thursday night football, and Sunday night football. That's when you're gonna see the biggest BS you've ever seen in sports history. My boy was like, Minnesota beat the Cowboys, and you called it. Because I'm like, those are the games I could get right. Thursday night, Monday night, Sunday night, because I know the fix. Everybody's like, oh, well, this is going to be they ain't got no chance of winning. Yep, give me them. Why? It's Thursday night. You betting on Washington? Yep, Thursday night. Sure enough, the Skins won. I was like, hey, I had them in the points. Look, man, you got to understand. Thursday night, these games are not going the way they supposed to. On these days, everybody going to be in competition. It's going to be Flag City. Division games, yeah, exactly. Division games could go either way. But man, Detroit cost me the money. I had them over the Rams like I knew it. Detroit +6, they gave up 21 straight points. How? I'm like, how do you do that? Total collapse. They're making this Ram team look like they better than what they is. Man, I can't wait till the Bears play them. We get them bums in the playoffs, we gonna smack them right in the mouth. Yeah, I want to show the world what the Pistons gonna do to OKC. We're gonna put the world on notice. Everybody still asleep. Don't worry, we're gonna put them on notice. These imposters like the Knicks, the agenda-based team. I can't stand these agenda-based teams. Can't stand it. Gotta destroy that. We want to get back to sport. I want to see the best team win. The best team playing win. That's what I want to see. But they want to come with this corruption and fix. Destroy the integrity of the game. Just to piss me off. I know, but when it's all said and done now, see, when it's all said and done, then where they gonna be? The Knicks are frauds. Y'all depend on Bridges doing everything all the time. That's y'all bread and butter. Oh, I can't wait to January 5th either. And we going live for that. After the 76ers kick y'all ass. Corey, don't disappear. You better be here. We going live for the whole game. So y'all, I want to see who don't show up. No escape. Oh, well, they got Wemby in there. I told you Spurs is going to beat OKC because they need Wemby in this final. It's the Emirates Cup now. Emirates is now, they the ones that are sponsoring this NBA Cup because league couldn't continuously lose money on this damn thing. So they got a sponsor, and now it's the Emirates Cup. Like, of course it is. So now, let's get our Euro people in here for their Euro plane flight. It's basically the Euro Cup. It's not no NBA Cup. So, gotta have a Euro in there. And who's the best Euro you can get? Oh! Wembanyama. They got to get somebody watching the Spurs. But the Spurs got a team. They actually got a team. They could win without Wemby. They really can. They've been showing you that they can ball. That Castle is for real. He said it's so scripted, I can't even watch it, bro. I know. That turned a lot of people off. I don't like agendas. I cannot stand it. I like sport. And once we went to Wilson basketball, it all went to hell. I hate using BP, man. It's like putting water in my damn car. They don't have... They're not watching or paying attention to the signs. Because if they were paying attention to the signs, then everybody would be able to tell them, like, look, man, this ain't what you think it is. Like, you made this wrong, bro. I tried to tell people straight up. I said, hey, this is just what it is, man. And if you challenge it, that's on you, but this is what it is. Cut and dry. No. Thank y'all for cutting on them. Woo. Oh, it's nice and warm today. It's only 30, it's 37. See, when you've been dealing with 11 degrees and 12 degrees, 37 is great. He says, Spurs by 10 plus. Today a break for sure. Of course, today is the day off. I'm taking the night off. I am not thinking about this damn game at all, not watching it. Because it's not real basketball. When they get to real basketball, let me know. I wanted the Pistons out this tournament. I ain't want us winning no NBA Cup. Man, let us get up out of here. So y'all can stop this screw job. We can put whoever y'all want in there, man. Get us up out this crap. I'd rather bleach my eyes than watch Butterball. Stream the Knicks game. Winning the NBA Cup is embarrassing. It's embarrassing losing the NBA Cup. Being forced to have to play this BS is embarrassing. I'd be like, man, I gotta play this. And I'm like, all they doing is pissing on the NBA Finals. You get more money playing in the NBA Cup than you do for the NBA Finals. And you play one game. And in the finals, you play in a series. But you make more money in the NBA Cup. How does that make sense? You know why? Because it don't make sense. It makes no sense around the board. Now, check this out. Everybody who had an opinion about what others should do never made their minds up when it came to representing this game. They had nothing to do with the game itself. All they decided to do was to take, never adding to. And that's when more and more of these problems start to rear their ugly heads. Here they come. Then everybody else is forced to deal with it. Thank you. Yeah, we good, bro. Well, it's winter time, so when it's winter time, it's dinner time. But no, it's all about perspective. It's all about what people believe when they start going through all of these different tropes and start believing that this NBA Cup stuff is real. They just want to keep it going as long as they can and see how many people are interested and gonna follow it, because they trying to get the younger audience. They ain't worried about me. People like me, they ain't worried about. They ain't worried about LBs and outlaws. They want these doggone teenagers, these 17 doing the gritty and all these. They want them. They want that Josh Morant crowd. I don't care who's in the... What? People make the biggest conceptions about the Super Bowl. It was like Lil Wayne performing at the Super Bowl, right? It's like, do they think Magnolia isn't gonna be in the house? This is not a concert. You going to the Super Bowl. Those tickets are thousands and thousands of dollars. Your ass ain't gonna be nowhere in there. Ain't nobody from Magnolia gonna be in there looking for no Lil Wayne. The Hispanics that go to the Super Bowl ain't coming to the Super Bowl to see Bad Bunny. You can see Bad Bunny on tour for way less than what you gonna spend going to the Super Bowl. People go to the Super Bowl for the Super Bowl. Nobody there to see Bad Bunny. They cool. The kids, they gonna love Bad Bunny. People go there for the Super Bowl. It's not a regular home game for the damn Saints. and Lil Wayne's a Packer fan, so I'm like, what the hell are they even talking about? It's a lot of goofiness taking place. So that's what you do. I was doing exactly what you saying right now. I was betting against. I said, man, I'm going against the grain. Here I am betting against all this stuff. What am I doing? I need to go with the figs. But see, I'm a passionate bettor. See, I bet with passion. Something you never ever do in life. Don't ever do that. Don't ever bet with passion. When I don't bet with passion, I win. When I bet with passion, I lose. But I'm happy with the bet. Like if I bet on the Lakers and the Lakers lose, I am the happiest man alive. Because the mission is accomplished. I will spend money for LeBron James to lose a game. If it means I gotta lose the bet, that's okay. Take the money. That's the sacrifice I gotta make. That's the sacrifice I gotta make. Take the money. I don't care. He gotta go. He gotta fall down. He gotta go. Man, I know somebody happy just winning $30, man. They be, man, this $30 came in handy. I mean, dude, you playing 25 to win 30. I don't understand. I don't understand. He just need to see some greens. That's all. He just needed to see the board hit green a couple of times. You know, you got guys like that. They just want to see that board light up to get them, it's just like on basketball court. Like he said, man, I just need to see one go in, Now that one went in, now I know I'm all right. I'm like, dog, you spending $25 to win $37. Just chill, man. Just take the night off. My man was betting 2 games. Odds of like 1,100 minus 1,000. I'm like, why are you even betting this? This minus 1,000. Of course they gonna win the damn game. You're not gonna win no money off these. Exactly. Oh no, the league could keep this game close till they get to the second half, and then by that time they ain't gonna care about them anymore. Gotta have an insider though, so I could be up there like Beasley them. They're gonna be like, and Carcino came in the courthouse today, pleaded not guilty to cooperate with a bookie. Mm-hmm. There's about 10 plus. I stand on it. Oh man, Corey, you are dead set on that. LB probably ain't gone watching the game. Him and Outlaw, they couldn't take it. You said I stand on it, like you take the Pepsi challenge. Like, forget all that. That man said, I'll take the Pepsi challenge to that. Straight up. I'm like, the Pepsi challenge? That's a lot. Bingo. Bingo bongo. Yep, I knew where I was at. I was like, wait a minute, that's my turn. I gotta be careful. I'm in a racist town, man. This is the town that dreaded sundown over here, buddy. They do not please. Oh, somebody fell right on their face. Oh, a lady just fell. Oh my God, she just fell real bad on her face. Oh my goodness. She was walking, slipped on the ice, and fell straight down on her face. Damn. It's a racist town, man. I ain't jumping out there to help nobody. Next thing you know, they said I pushed her. She in front of her house. She'll be all right. I mean, she went face first down. She was an older lady, white lady with glasses. She was, I guess she was coming from the mailbox, and then she was trying to go back and went bloof. By the time I drove past, she was laying on that floor. I'm like, ooh, that hurt. Looked like it hurt me seeing that. Oh well. I don't hear Outlaw raving about the game. I don't hear you raving about the game, Outlaw. What's going on over there? We down by 2. And I tell you, they're going to keep this thing close to keep the people like it's interested. It could go either way. I tell you, man, I could give you the whole script to this bullshit all the way. Oh, let's just keep it open. Let's keep everybody glued in. And then we start screwing them in the fourth quarter. Third and fourth quarter, we can start screwing people over. We got our viewership. Now we can go ahead and let the arcade thing take place. And Adam Silver coming out lying to people. Yeah, and it's fun. Everybody's loving the NBA Cup. Yeah, I ain't got time to lie to the people. I'm all right.
What can I get you?
I'll take a Yingling.
Oh, for Union?
Yep.
The flight or lager?
Lager.
Lager.
Louisville, man, Tennessee is blowing them out. All right, you can keep the tab open for me.
Do you got a card on?
Oh, we gotta do a card?
Yeah, for a tab I do.
Okay. No problem.
I'll give it right back to you.
No problem.
What's the name, hon?
Kevin. All right, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, fellas, I'm out. I'm gonna sit here and watch some real sports. Talk to y'all later.
Which one are you wanting to watch?